In the 18th century, people in Limburg and Belgium believed in something very strange. And no, it wasn't their own accent they suddenly heard and thought, it's weird I have a soft G and not a hard one. No, it was a group of criminals flying through the air at night. On billy goats or male goats, they were called the buck riders. But what was really true and what was superstition? No idea. The name Riders comes from a legend that sounds almost too bizarre to believe, because according to these old stories, the thieves would fly at night on the back of a goat from village to village. They would have supposedly made a deal with the pigeons. But why did people believe this? Simple. In that time, in the 18th century, it was very normal to have stories about witches, ghosts, and the devil. And if something strange happened, for example, someone suddenly became very rich or someone committed a crime and suddenly disappeared, then that was the work of the devil. But the truth was that the Buck Riders were not wizards at all. They were ruthless criminals. They committed robberies in Limburg and in Belgium on churches, monasteries, farms, and took everything of value with them. But what really made them notorious and well known was their violence. They were clever, really super clever. They used the superstition that people had back then to their advantage. For example, they would leave a threatening letter saying, "If you betray us, we will get you," or "the devil will get you." People were really terrified and therefore just kept quiet. The government decided it had enough for a while and then intervened very firmly. A hunt was launched, and people took their weapons out of their closets and said, "You're being arrested, and you're being arrested, and you're being arrested," and hundreds of people were arrested. It was not fair at all. The government was more afraid of losing control and hoped to regain control this way. People were tortured to force a confession. So you had to say, "Yes, I worked with the devil," because if they didn't, they would be tortured. Or was something else done that made you think, well, better not, you know? So you had to say that you had collaborated with the devil, and even if you were innocent, they admitted it. Because the fear and the pain from the torture they had received or would receive was enough to make them say, "Yes, I did it." The result was that very many people were convicted. And some were even hanged, others were burned, but they were not guilty at all. At least that's what I think, because you don't know. Maybe those Riders were among them. What we know now is that the Riders really existed. They were super smart. And then I'm very curious, what do you think? Were those Riders from the future, and were they just messing around in the 18th century? Or was something else going on? Let me know in the comments.